It's my pleasure now to move on to hear more from Vietnam, but this time from Mr. Dao Tien Zang. Apologies if I haven't pronounced that correctly, from the Vietnamese Handicraft and Wood Industry Association. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Simply my name is an easy way to call Zoom down, as you see here. I'm from HAWA as a Handicraft and Wood Association of Ho Chi Minh City. So first of all, I would like to thank you for having me a chance to be here to present the comprehensive technology solutions, timber origin identification and verifications. I decided to make this presentation because when I read a document sent to me and you raise out 10 headaches problems, then those challenges need to be solved. And I think that with the technology solutions, I think most of that can be solved. I hope that. So let me start with some introduction about my association, HAWA. We have nearly 500 members all over Vietnam, and the industries there, that is the forestry, woodworking, handicraft, and industries. And beside that, we have the services, trading, and supported industries, the companies who support for those main industry there. And we are the organizer of the biggest Vietnamese international furniture fair, which is called G5 Expo, that happens every March yearly. And we represent Vietnam as a member of ASEAN Furniture Industry Council, APEC. So people from ASEAN may know about APEC quite well, and HAWA is there. And we are also a proactive consultation partner for Vietnamese government in VPA FLECT process. So to start the VPA FLECT process, HAWA with other wood industry associations, especially the VForest for Mr. Wise, we push the government to work with EU to start the VPA FLECT, and then now it is finished the negotiation rounds, and it comes to the implementation round. So I work for HAWA, and my position is the developer and manager of HAWA due diligence system. We call HAWA DDS. And I would like to introduce you something about our system. Please kindly help me to play it on.
In Vietnam, there have been two kinds of legal timber source, certified and non-certified. For the certified timber, it's quite easy to prove the origin. However, its price is relatively higher than the non-certified timber, and its supply is limited. The timber that takes higher proportion is the one from domestic plantations, which is legally harvested and traded, but still have many problems when performing the due diligence. Vietnamese wood industry is an efficient tool to solve all the problems when performing due diligence for non-certified timber. That's the reason why our DDS project has been developed. This project is funded by FAO EU FLECT program, supported by Vietnam Forestry Administration, and developed based on the standards set by NEPCOM organization, one of FSC fellows. When producing wooden products to export to EU and other developed markets, the manufacturer shall be required to prove that his products are made of legal timber. To prove this, the manufacturer must trace back on the journey of timber from harvesting, trading, processing, transporting to the completed products. This is not easy because to reach the manufacturer, the timber has gone through a very long journey in both time and space. If there's any point in the supply chain that may have problem, all the related export products shall be considered at high risk and must be returned to the exporter. For example, by the end of 2018, a manufacturer in Bình Dương has to perform due diligence to EU buyer for all products produced during the whole year. These timber materials were legally harvested and traded but didn't have FSC certificate. They were bought from two suppliers in Ho Chi Minh City and Dong Nai since the beginning of the year. One part of the timber in Ho Chi Minh City was sourced from the central part of Vietnam and has gone through many traders to reach the south. The other part was from the plantation in Đắk Nông. The company in Dong Nai imported timber from American continent. By the end of 2018, the manufacturer must collect all documents from the beginning of the year. If there's any problem, for example in the remote locations like Vietnam or South America, the manufacturer cannot control. If he luckily collects enough documents, the amount will be very large, while the connections among evidences are poor. In case of requiring a third party to provide verification services, the verification cost will be very high, which affect the company's profit. But with HAWA DDS, things shall be much easier. Imagine that the manufacturer and all parties in the timber supply chain are participating in HAWA DDS. Before any transaction, the seller must perform due diligence to the buyer, and the buyer only agree to buy if all information is sufficiently provided and all related evidences are enough convincing. For example, when a forest owner sells the timber to a wood trader, besides information of price, volume, and quality, the forest owner must provide other information related to the legality of timber source by entering these data into HAWA DDS. Upon his entering, the system will create a QR code. The buyer then just needs to scan the QR code and he will see all necessary data immediately, thereby assess the risk and decide to purchase or not. If it's high risk, they can require the seller to provide additional evidences. If there's no problem, they can continue the transaction. Similarly, when timbers go through other trading transactions and supplied to the manufacturer, all information will be recorded in real time to a centralized database. The due diligence responsibilities are shared to all parties instead of loaded on the manufacturer only. At any time when there's request from overseas buyer, the manufacturer just needs to send them the link to see timber legality evidences directly on HAWA DDS cloud. This process will help both buyer and seller to save a lot of time and cost. In the future, when the EGILAT is officially operated, having HAWA DDS membership will be a great advantage for enterprises to be prioritized in operator classification. At the same time, HAWA DDS will be a reliable reference data source for the government to cross-check before granting plenty license. HAWA DDS system with high credibility. We are all aware that the information declared into the system is very confidential for each enterprise and thus can't be used, shared, or exposed irresponsibly. Each enterprise must have full power to decide to share which data to whom and at which level. We all know that Facebook has a huge amount of user data, but there is no one to represent and protect the users and no mechanism to control the using of their personal data. For this reason, many scandals happen, resulting loss to the users. Unlike Facebook, HAWA DDS considers confidentiality protection as the number one principle of the system. This principle has been developed by NEPCOM into the confidentiality protection standards. Based on that, an independent monitor elected from system members with the highest access right to the system will represent the members to monitor the strict compliance with this standard of the HAWA DDS Platform Management Unit and may intervene immediately in case of problem. If there's any violation of this principle, the violator must bear his personal responsibility to the law. Moreover, by applying advanced technologies like blockchains, ERP, big data, and business intelligence, the system will assure that all information is confidentially protected and processed accurately, transparently, and impartially. HAWA DDS project progress. In mid-January 2019, HAWA DDS officially...
Thank you very much. This is about my project. We use information technology to solve the most difficult problems of legality or timber origins, how to track it, how to trace back to the origin of the timber. So with that experience, and I would like to share it with you the comprehensive solution. But before that, we would like for the 10 problems raised up in the document sent by EGILAT organizer it comes to this kind of group. Firstly, currently we judge the timber legality based on documents, not on reality. And you see that documents is not the reality. And the more documents it comes up, more complicated it gets and more risk it gets. Secondly, documents can be counterfeited. And for that reason, if we carry on asking for more, then we carry on adding more risk, or we carry on adding more cost. And it is difficult to handle complicating legislative document relating to timber legality. Each country have a different definition of legality. And even in one country, too many documents related to legality, and it goes through long time, so it changes along the time, so too complicated. And corruption is a big risk to happen everywhere. And for all of that, the compliance will bring a too high cost to burden on the enterprises. So, finally, the supply chain of the timber is too complicated. So, all of this make it impossible to carry out the due diligence or timber tracking or timber legality identification in the current way. We have to change. The world has moved into the new era. We call say Industry 4.0 era. Now we can have solutions based on that. Firstly, we should base on reality, not documents. You may see that the legality definition or legislation documents may vary from this country to other country, but reality stays the same and stay constantly the same everywhere. So we have nowadays everyone have the cell phone, which can with smartphone actually, and we now all access to big data, and we all under the supervision of the satellites. So we know where we are because of our GPS system. So if we use it, we can create what we call real-time evidences. The picture you take show what is there, and it can show you where it happened, what time, when it happened, and who is doing that. So those are the real-time evidences, and it stays the same everywhere. So nowadays, when you base on documents, you think document is the main thing, but one day the document is just some other thing to prove. Or this one is to prove for the documents, or the documents will have to be to show this thing. So it will be much easier. Secondly, we base on algorithm, not on human, because human can be corrupted. And now, what we have? We have the blockchain technology, and we have the what is called intelligence, computing intelligence, like AI or BI. With blockchain technology, when you announce something to the world, then no one can change it. It's untemporary. So no one can hack into the system to change all the real-time evidences there. So we stay there like that. If anyone wondering about blockchain, then please ask and I will answer you, because I have just a few minutes, so I have to go through. And the other solution is that we need to popularize the due diligence practice in timber and timber product trading by integrating into the national form system. Now, we completely understand wrongly about due diligence when it just practice between the importer and the exporter. It's wrong. Due diligence is something must be practiced in every buy and sell. So the buyer must prove to the seller, this is a good stuff. And the seller must inspect that, must investigate that. So where's the evidences? So if it happened in every step, when the timber moves from the harvest until when it comes to the production, and we have, then it's fine. And then just simple, we develop our project, we develop the forms for VN Forest, so they can easily apply it to every enterprises. This is a very basic form. and we call it basic documents. And if the enterprises just simply fill into those forms, then all the evidences from the beginning to the end can be connected easily. But that's what we develop, and to accept it or not, that is their choice. So we hope that in the future they will apply our form system like this. It's easy, make it easy. Now, technology ecology for comprehensive solution. Because for what I suggest, each country needs to develop an ecology for this stuff. And it's not difficult. Firstly, they need the platform of legislation documents of timber legality assurance system. That is available everywhere. Secondly, they need to have national geodatabase for all forest plots. That is been done in Vietnam. We built it successfully. Every plot of the forest in Vietnam, we have the coordinates. And that project is funded by Finland. It's called FORMIS. And based on this, we can develop our system. And now we have satellite up there. Satellite can watch everything. So I see almost of the developing country now have their own satellite. So if we can use those satellites to have the high resolution image, support constantly, update needed, then they can watch how the forest is cut and how the forest is planted. So it will create the ecology of the real-time evidences. And based on that, some project like us, or maybe in your country may implement this kind of system. We should develop IT-based national timber division and tracing system. And that system all serve for the mobile phone. So this cell phone, from this they can, whenever any action relating to the timber happen, you know that the timber along the supply chain, it changes 4 things. The owners change, the location change, the form of the wood change, and the volume change. And whenever one of those changes happen, it will be recorded by just simply scanning the QR code. So it will show where it happened, when it happened, who do it, and how it happened. You can see the picture just using the QR code. And then it can be applied for forest harvest and applied for supply chains, for the whole supply chain. So forestry side and woodworking side. And if we can apply all this, then this is the following good thing we bring. Firstly, the cost reduction. We all said about that timber legality compliance is too expensive. But when it comes to be a platform like this, it will be a very, very low cost. Before 10 or 15 years before, if you heard that a company that had a lease line for internet, it cost them many thousands US dollars per month. But nowadays, Wi-Fi everywhere, it costs nearly nothing. So if all the country have the technology ecology like this, I believe that the cost for legality compliance will be reduced to close to zero. And if this ecology is there, then the transparency will be improved, and it will stop the corruption. It's easy to apply, and it's simple to understand. Even a very basic farmer can understand. And it will eliminate the fake documents. And those are the solutions I suggest. Thank you very much. Sorry for...
Thank you very much, Sungdao, for your presentation. I think you've injected some energy in our discussions this afternoon, which is great to have late in the day. And you know, the concepts that you're having of the technology solutions, creating real-time evidence, and this idea that due diligence shouldn't just be done by the buyers and importers, but that it is a true entire supply chain approach, is something, I guess, for us to think about as well. So thank you for your presentation.